better not have no plans tonight.
Movie time and it's feeling right.
You're looking for a love that lasts. You'll find it at Romance in the Podcast. Ooh, ooh, baby, you had me at hello. Ooh, I love you.
I know.
Ooh, ooh, baby, you're the wind beneath my wings. Ooh, ah, I'll have what she's having.
Thank you for tuning into Romance in the Pod. You had us at hello. I'm Paige Wesley.
And I'm Todd Schlosser. And this week, Paige made us watch Wicked for Good.
For good.
I don't know why, but that joke, when I heard it, was spelled wicked, spelled normally, the number 4, G-U-D.
Yes.
I can't explain it, but that's the way it just hit my brain.
Like it's a John Wick movie. Yes.
Paige.
Yes.
When was the first time you saw this movie?
I saw this 2 nights ago in a movie theater an hour-ish away from where we're staying because it was the closest movie theater.
Oh, no.
I had what I have now determined to be the 3rd worst pizza in my entire life.
How high does that number? Is it like a top 10 list? Like, do you have a top 10 worst pizza places?
Right now, it's just top 3.
Okay, so what you're saying is you don't have you're not stack ranking them necessarily,
No.
but you're building a list.
I'm building a list. And here's what's real upsetting. All 3 happened this year. I don't know So number 1 is pizza I had in Mexico a couple months ago that was essentially cobbled together from pieces of things that people thought were pizza-like and then heated into a hot circle of garbage. And then the second one is like a known and famous pizza place in Los Angeles that has been there for years that I had been like wanting to try. And we ordered it like right after the fires because it was like, we have been displaced. I don't have the energy to cook anything.
Do you think they overcooked them because of the fires? Like, is that what the concern might have been?
That might have improved it. But it was also not only a terrible pizza, but it looked bad too. I was like, how?
How do you taste bad and are ugly?
Pick one.
Yeah.
And then third, notably, this fucking movie theater pizza that I was like, I know it's movie theater pizza. My expectations are low.
My expectations would be like cafeteria pizza, like from high school cafeteria pizza.
Correct. But it was a movie theater that had a restaurant attached. So I was like, I feel safe ordering cafeteria pizza here. And it was so bad that not only me, but everyone else in the theater who had ordered it basically left most of it on the table.
I kind of love that, like, everybody who listened to this story knows it's not going to be good pizza at a movie theater. But multiple people still rolled the dice on it when they got to the theater. Like that,
Sure.
I would never roll the dice on even a corn dog at a theater. But Paige, I also do believe that pizza and sex are pretty close for me.
Usually, yes.
In so much as that, even if it's not great, it's still sex. It's great.
Right.
Still pizza.
Here's what I will say. I think all of those people, like me, went in with low expectations, where we were like, yes, this is one of those nice movie theaters that has waiters, because that was the only option that was close. And I was like, oh, nice. Maybe and it cost me less than the cost of one ticket in Los Angeles to take my entire family. And so I was like, well, maybe the mozzarella sticks are good. Like this, hey, and boy, were we disappointed, man. It was like somebody scraped off a cafeteria pizza and we're like, let's melt worse cheese on top of it. And you're like, how? And then let's make it cold for some reason.
That does sound terrible.
Brutal.
Yeah.
It was awful.
So did it ruin the experience of the movie for you?
No. I actually, I have more critiques for this half than I do for the first. And I know that people have not liked this half as much as the first. Within the play, I love a lot of these songs. Some of these are my favorite songs, and I think they're done incredibly well.
Yeah.
I still think all of the music is fantastically done. The soundtrack is great. I still think that visually these movies are very interesting, and they made really cool choices.
Yeah.
All of that is great. My 2 big complaints. One, In the play, this is 45 minutes, and this movie is 2 hours. It don't need to be. It don't need to be.
That's how I felt about the last one.
Sure.
And that one's longer.
That one's longer. You could have absolutely trimmed the last one too, but this one I think is even more egregious, especially because you don't have as many songs. And even with the 2 new songs, both of which I loved and I thought were great additions.
Me too.
The last one, you're really almost going song into song into song into song into song. And the only place you're gathering more of that runtime is because they're breaking those songs up in the middle for dialogue and kind of placing it a little bit different. In this one, there really just aren't enough songs to go around. So you are getting these huge, long scenes with no music that are all plot that in some cases are really good, and in some cases maybe not so good, and some cases they drag. And I think it's to try and equalize the halves because they want to try and make them both full-length films, but there's not enough story in the back half to be its own full-length film. But if you included them all in one movie, it would have been like a 3.5-hour movie.
Yeah, it would have been too, or they would have taken too much out of it.
Or they would have taken too much out.
Yeah.
My second complaint, and this is one that I feel like is maybe a little bit more nuanced and also is maybe a little bit about me, just as a person and as a viewer of this property over the years. Do you ever feel like, and I've had this experience on this show especially a couple times, where you watched something when you were younger and you felt very emotionally attached to a part of the story, and you watch it again as an adult and you're like, oh, wait, this is not really as impactful as I remember. We recently watched White Christmas at home, and I felt the same, where I'm like, I thought there was more to this love story. There's really not.
No.
They talk a few times.
We did that movie. Yeah, like they're not.
Yeah.
There's no real romance between them.
There's no real romance between them. And I, as a child, seeing the play, had always really felt more attached to Elphaba and Fiyero. And I think a lot of that is from being sort of someone who is not society's expectation of beautiful.
Yeah.
Rooting for that person to get the guy, for sure. And because I am a straight lady. And I know reading the books is a whole different ballgame. There's a whole bunch of extra stuff in there. I'm not even going to get into it right now.
Guys, they get into how many rug burns Elphaba gets after they get to Technicolor Arrakis. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way she wasn't, like, getting rug burns off of his, what would you call it, burlap skin?
Oh, I really just hope that she's got a lot of lotion or another sex cardigan, either one. But in watching this now as an adult and trying to evaluate it from a story point, I don't think the straight love story works. And I feel like this story and movie and even play would be so much stronger as a lesbian love story. Like, so much. Like, if you cut Fiyero out, and I would hate to lose his songs, and I love Jonathan Bailey, and like, I don't want to do that. But if you do, it makes so much more sense. And it should be about them and their relationship and grappling with it, and putting a love triangle in it just feels weird. And like, it felt out of place. And again, one of my favorite songs from the play is As Long As You're Mine. Like, I get it. I know why people want that love story in there, but I'm telling you, from a character motivation standpoint, I think this should be a lesbian love story. And I think the movie knows it too. There's multiple places where the flowers are like arranged in the lesbian flag colors and they're prominently shown. Like, I think this movie gets it, but knew they couldn't sell that.
Man, this movie gets it.
Because unfortunately, America sucks sometimes.
That's also not the way the story goes. But like,
right.
The movie gets it, I think, 100% when she locks her in the closet. Not locks her maybe, but like hides her in the closet.
Yes.
And then we get both sides of that, and they are just sobbing.
Yes.
Like, it's very, they even say I love you to each other. Although, you could also say that they're just saying that as friends, and that's fine. That's not the way I saw that at all.
Right.
But I get it. You could say that. But I definitely saw that as like them making their choices.
Sure.
And maybe Elphaba makes the choice for Glinda at the end. I could see how you could read it that way, but I think they are both making their choices, and because of that, they have to say goodbye to each other. It's so sad.
Yes.
It's so sad.
Yes.
Anyway, I mean, I agree. I just think they had to sort of stick with what the story was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they got to stick with the play.
But they definitely do make that part clear on screen, which I dig.
Yes.
I really loved it. I went yesterday with Natalie and my brother Brandon. I was like, hey, do you want to go see Wicked for Good with with us and he was like, I haven't seen the first one. And I was like, well, watch it now. And he did. He like watched it. And then we went and saw it last night. It was great. So he watched like 5.5 hours of Wicked yesterday.
That's a lot. That's a lot all at once, I think.
It's a lot. Yeah. But he loves musicals too. So it was a lot of fun. But yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with anything you're saying. I just wasn't really bothered by it because I just dig this story and I dig musicals. So like, I don't know that I could be the most objective reviewer of it because I already love it going in, you know? Unless the performances were bad and the songs sucked. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just know the IP so well that it's like, it would be hard for me to not like it if there were. I mean, honestly, I think one of the ways I was fearing the most I wouldn't like it is them putting in more of the actual like Wizard of Oz plot line, you know? Mm-hmm. Because in the play or in the stage production of this, they just like yada, 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 all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I love the way it aggressively makes it like, we're not telling that stupid ass story about some like middle America person who like fell for the propaganda. Like,
I kind of love it whenever they're like, oh yeah, no, that way. Okay, bye. Yeah. All right. And she's gone.
I love the way they kind of just like shit on it in a very funny way. And I was afraid that they were going to, in the movie, do more of it. So we actually got more of that side of the story. And I'm very glad we didn't. And they handle it very similarly in this. So I was happy about that. But I honestly really dug it. I do kind of want to give it the same review I gave the last one. It's like, if you love musicals and like this one, you'll love the movie.
Sure.
If you don't like musicals, I don't think you'll like it. It's a lot of songs.
Yeah.
It's like 80% people singing over speaking, which I'm here for.
Yeah.
But if you don't like that kind of vibe, you're not going to like it. But I do kind of love how Elphaba becomes Mr. Steal Your Girl, but yo man, I guess. I love that.
Always. That's, again, my favorite song.
Yeah, it was hilarious. I mean, but I you know, you kind of know all that's coming. I do think one thing this movie maybe shows better than the stage production shows is that she is a powerful like witch or wizard, whatever you want to call him in this universe.
Yes.
And Oz is not. But that doesn't necessarily mean she is more powerful than he is.
Right.
Because they're essentially in sort of a marketing battle.
Yes.
And you can't like there's no spell for make the town folk stop falling for propaganda, I guess, in the Grimmery.
Right.
So she has to like do viral marketing in the clouds and shit. You know, I thought that was very funny. And they like really show that and it's cool. It like made me laugh when I realized that.
That's more from the book, oddly enough, a little bit. The book goes way harder at it. The book, at this point in the book, she becomes essentially a hardcore activist and she is hunted, you know, enemy number one, and it gets brutal and it goes on for a long time. And so the stage play doesn't include as much of that. And I thought the movie was wise to spend some time on that.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool, like, oh, being a very powerful witch in this situation isn't necessarily
winning.
Yeah, it doesn't make her overpowered necessarily.
Yeah, and the other place where they included, I think, her new song that includes a lot more of her with the animals and that conversation, great. I also like that, well, we'll talk about it at the end, where they try to give Glinda more of a redemption arc that is definitely not in the book.
Yeah.
And is kind of in the play. And the movie really tried hard at it, I think, because they like Ariana Grande so much. But
I mean, I really did. I just like a lot of the songs, and I've listened to this kind of soundtrack and seen the stage production enough times that like I know it so well. So it's almost like revisiting an old friend.
Mm-hmm.
I think up front, you should know I'm not going to be objective in this episode. I just like it too much. But anyway, Paige, maybe we should go through it scene by scene.
Let's do it. So we open on essentially Glinda arriving in Emerald City. Now she's Glinda the Good. And also, just to let you guys know, we had to see this in theaters where you can't really take notes. So my notes are not as detailed.
Yeah.
We'll get through it. But they essentially have a montage of her returning to Emerald City as Glinda the Good, basically an ambassador for the wizard to try and be a foil for Elphaba as the Wicked Witch.
Yeah, but she's also like the press secretary kind of.
Yes.
You know, like she is the one they send out to like give the party line, that person.
Right. Meanwhile, Elphaba is like attacking them building the Yellow Brick Road, which is a piece of like Wizard of Oz lore, but also Wicked book lore that I love that we kind of include, even though we only get the one shot of it. But essentially we see that the wizard is using animals as forced labor to build the Yellow Brick Road.
Yeah, and that's really what Elphaba is doing when she goes there, because she frees it's like their version of an ox. I don't know what its name is, but it's like an ox, and it like kind of runs off and does not, but gets close to hurting some, I guess, the workers. I don't know.
Yeah. While we're kind of cutting between, it's almost like we cut between all of the characters that we knew from the last movie that we're going to continue with this one. So we know that Nessa Rose is the governor of Munchkinland after her father passed away, and that Bach is, I would say, her unwilling partner, although we're going to have to come back to that a little bit later.
Yeah, because in the movie, it is like very much positioned as he's just helping her out as a friend and wants to leave.
Yeah.
And she does not want him to leave. He doesn't seem into it, I guess is my point.
Right.
But at the beginning of the movie, he is here as a friend to her.
Exactly, because her father died and he couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, similarly and kind of contrastingly, we see that in Glinda's kind of press secretary role, they have really kind of built her up as a character, and Fiyero as well. And Fiyero is basically the head of the guard, and he's trying to find Elphaba before anyone else does because he doesn't want people to hurt her. And so he's kind of like using this to try and get access to her, to probably try and save her or do something. At least he says that.
Yeah, if like you were the head of SEAL Team 6 and you were in love with Osama bin Laden, he probably wouldn't have been shot in the face immediately.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the reality of it. And he's like, well, if I'm at the tip of the spear, I can make sure we don't kill her when we bring her in, so I can bring her in safely.
Right. Now, here's where I think we start to see the cracking of the love triangle a bit. I remembered so much more hints at him liking her in the first half of the play that I think we got a little bit of in the movie, but didn't really get a ton of. But as an adult looking back, 2020 vision, I'm like, maybe they weren't in the play. Maybe I just wanted them to be. And it was always a way better story about lesbian love. But essentially, they announce that he and Glinda are going to get married. He didn't choose that. Glinda just announced it. And I do love the kind of in the conversation they have, because as they're announcing it, there is also a lot of fanfare around Elphaba being evil and wicked and all of these things that he knows she's not.
Yeah, I actually really like the way they show that on screen, because it's like, it's Marable, and she's singing the propaganda, more or less, that you're talking about.
Right.
And they're like literally like shooting leaflets out of the palace that are like then falling down on the people below.
Yes.
And it starts with just Marable singing the propaganda, and then we see the leaflets going out, and we hear her over the loudspeakers as we're seeing that. And then as the leaflets fall on the town folks below, that's when they start singing the propaganda that you're talking about.
Right.
I was like, oh shit, that is such a great way to show the way all of this builds. Like, it's like someone makes up a story, and then because they have access to like everyone's brain through like social media or that's, TV or whatever they're on, they can get millions of people to spout bullshit. It's like, it was so great and I loved it.
Yeah, I felt like it was such even in being a fantasy and not being our world and our time and our stuff, it still very much speaks to a lot of what we're going through right now.
Yeah.
Unmistakably, I would say. Anyway, I love Fiyero's conversation about it, because he confronts Glinda and is like, oh, we're getting married, but also how can you just stand there and listen to them say these things about your friend that you know are not true?
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, how can you be the guard looking for her? And he's like, I'm trying to find her to help her. And she's like, I'm helping her too. And he's like, no, you're not. And I do think a lot of this movie becomes the arc of someone who's like, I can help from the inside, but really they are just being comfortable within the regime that favors them.
Yeah. Well, from Glinda's perspective, yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think from Fiyero's perspective, it seems that way and then very much is not, which we see that arc in the movie. Yeah.
Right.
Did we mention that like Fiyero and Glinda are engaged, but he did not know that until it was announced in front of the townsfolk?
Yeah. I barely touched on it a second ago, but yes, he gets blindsided essentially.
He's like, what? And she goes, yeah, the wizard and I decided this morning.
Right.
Which is a nuts way to tell your future husband that you're engaged.
Right. Especially because they're not one of the people that decided.
Exactly. And he has not technically said yes to any of this. But Paige, he clearly has no plans to marry this woman, so that's fine. But I also think the wizard told Galinda they were going to be engaged because in the wizard's mind, it's a better story for propaganda if one of them dies going after the Wicked Witch of the West. You know what I'm saying?
You think that Fiyero was always potentially going to die? Yeah, that's actually very possible. Yeah, I could see that.
I think he was either going to succeed in his mission and bring her in their mind,
Right.
Or he was going to die and then it's a better story.
Right.
So he's either successful because he, in their mind, kills her or brings her in safely, which is probably what would have happened because he loves her.
Right. And because Elphaba cares about him and would probably never kill him unless she absolutely had to.
Yeah. Or he dies and then Galinda the Good is also the Galinda the almost widow. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's just a better story for the propaganda. It'll make people hate her, the Wicked Witch, way more.
Yeah. I also think if we want to look at the last movie, Madame Morrible does know who helped that lion, right?
Yeah.
Like where they helped the lion escape, there's only 2 people missing, it's them. And so for as much as Fiyero thinks he's flying under the radar to help her, I don't know how much under the radar that is or how much they're thinking about using him in that way. Because they probably think he's most likely to find her and she's maybe less likely to kill him, to your point.
Yeah, but I also don't think they care either way. He's either successful or dead, and who cares?
Right. I didn't think about that aspect of it, but you're absolutely right. I thought about it more in the sense of further othering Elphaba, because it's like, look at this perfect, air quotes, good nuclear family versus this single woman who yells a lot.
Who, she likes cats. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
And all other animals, but, she a cat lady. You know what I'm saying? That's what they're trying to say.
You see her sex sweater? Full cat lady core. And you know what? Same girl. Same.
Yeah.
But it felt like that very much was part of it as well. But I actually really love the conversation that Fiyero and Galinda have, because he at one point says, look, if it'll make you happy, fine, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
Not, I want to marry you. Not, you're right, we should get married. Not even, hey, I love you, so I'll marry you. It's, if it will make you happy, fine, I'll marry you.
Yeah.
Brutal.
It is brutal.
What a brutal thing to hear.
It's not great. But she's like, I'll take it.
Yes.
But I think that's because she's not in love with him either. You know what I'm saying?
At all.
I think she loves him as a friend.
Right, which we covered in the last one.
Yeah, but it's not like a romantic love match, and she knows that. So It is sort of like, hey, will you play pretend with me for the audience?
Yes, 100%. Because he's there for appearances, always has been.
Yes.
And I feel like the movie does a really great job of contrasting the interactions that Glinda has with Fiyero versus the way Glinda reacts to Elphaba, and how she immediately prioritizes Elphaba every time, where it's like, oh, the wedding is going to be late. Don't care. My friend is here.
Right?
like when we get to Glinda and Elphaba finally reuniting for a little bit, or getting to see each other again for after it's implied 5 years, it is very much like X came to see you off on your wedding, and then it's like, maybe I don't get married. Maybe I don't have to get married. Again, I think the movie knows.
If X comes to see you before your wedding, you better watch out, because he's going to give it to you.
I mean, fuck, wait for you to do it on your own. X gonna deliver to you. But
I love that you're the kind of nerd I am. I'm so sorry.
Thank you. It's not, there shouldn't be a triangle. There shouldn't be a triangle in this movie. This is clearly the love story.
Yeah, I mean, clearly there is another one in the story.
Yeah.
And Elphaba just seems to be into both of them, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. 100%. I would say Elphaba's bi, Glinda is closeted gay.
I definitely think there's tons of evidence to show that she is not into Fiyero in that way. You know what I'm saying?
True.
So, and I mean, Elphaba and her don't kiss. They do hold hands a lot for 2 friends.
Sure.
We never really get any kind of confirmation of that on the screen, but that is so the way it reads to me.
Oh, yeah. Lots of longing, yearning looks.
Yes.
Come on. Lots of songs to each other about how they're the most important person in each other's lives. Come on.
There were 2 moments in this movie, had I been alone or just with my wife and brother, had I not been in a public movie theater,
right,
I would have yelled, "Kiss already!" Because they're singing so close together, and they just they love each other. It's so clear.
She kisses Fiyero in this for a bit, and it is hot, sure, but also not that much. And anyone complaining about their kids seeing it should nut up. But like, it's, first of all, not a kid's movie. Secondly, you don't see anything. Leave it alone.
It's a kiss, right? Like, he's not like...
They're kind of grinding, but like, whatever. Don't take him to see the play if that bothers you, because that song is all grind in the play. But like, all this to say, that kiss is great. It does not have nearly the emotional investment of the other relationship. And 100% you could, if you cut Fiyero out and then let them kiss in those spots where they clearly, the characters want to, I think this would be a great lesbian witch movie. And I wouldn't be mad at it. I'd be like, yes, this makes the most sense.
Yeah, I wouldn't be mad at it either. It's not what's in the story.
Yeah.
So like, I bet a lot of fans of Wicked would have been upset that they took it out. And I get that, but like, it doesn't bother me at all.
But in the book, there is also a more heavily implied lesbian relationship between Glinda and Elphaba that exists concurrently with the one with Fiyero. So like...
Then we should have got that. Come on.
I'm telling you, man. I'm fucking telling you. Sorry, I realize that's probably a nightmare for sound. Clapping. I'll try not to do that again. I'm sorry.
You know what? Natalie will appreciate that. I can't remember the last time I told a joke that made you stand up and clap, Paige, but I'll try harder.
all this to say, we get this collection of songs is 20 some odd minutes long.
I called it the Couldn't Be Happier montage.
Yes.
Because it is like Glinda selling all of this, like, I am good. Fiyero and I are like the stand-in for like the perfect family starting out.
Right.
And this is like, because of all of this, I couldn't be happier. That is what she is saying to the audience.
Right.
But this scene, and I think Ariana Grande does such an amazing job singing this song.
Yes.
Because it is all like straight up propaganda that sounds like things are great. You have nothing to worry about.
Right.
And she is full on so sad in this song. And it's coming through kind of like, it's very clear to the audience that's watching the movie that she is not happy. But she does have everything she thought she ever wanted.
Yes.
But she is not happy. But the words she's saying to the audience in Oz, it makes them feel like, oh, she worked so hard and now she's got everything she ever wanted and she couldn't be happier. Like they're just buying the propaganda. And I just love the way they make it clear to us, the viewers of the movie, that she is so sad. And it's like,
yes,
all in the performance that she's giving. She's so good in this.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, you know, we had some complaints in the first one about her air quotes doing a Kristen Chenoweth impression, and I don't feel like she's doing that at all in this one. I think she really makes this one her own. And I think you're right. I think she does incredibly well at displaying someone who is outwardly perfect, but inwardly devastatingly sad. And she's killing it.
Yes. Here's what my assumption is. She's building a life that would please her parents.
Yes.
What she always felt like would make people love her.
She's living out good luck, babe, for sure.
Yeah. And it's not the life she internally actually wants.
Right.
So she's living for other people and not herself.
Right.
And that is so clear. It's so sad. And I think she does an amazing job. It's great.
Yes. But as we're getting her version, we're also seeing kind of where Elphaba is, where she's living, some of the stuff she's getting into. We're seeing Fiyero's stuff. We're seeing Madame Morrible and the Wizard as the propaganda machine. As that 20 minutes wraps up, we finally get into the movie start. It's like this whole section is like last time on Wicked. Like it's this.
That's a very funny way to put that, but it is.
Yeah.
Exactly what's happening.
It's 3 songs worth of last time on Wicked.
I do have to warn you that I did call Elphaba Mrs. Steal Your Whip like 8 times in my notes. So if that sneaks out,
sure,
that's why. Because when she's saving the ox from getting whipped by the worker,
yes,
she like snatches his whip, and I was like, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So if that slips out, that's why. I apologize.
That's fine. If I accidentally call her Batman, you'll understand. Because she's not the hero we deserve, but she's the hero we need.
Yeah.
But Elphaba goes to kind of visit her sister. And we know she's like heading to see her sister while she's traveling. We cut to Munchkinland to see what's up with Nessa Rose.
Yeah.
And Bach is miserable, wants to leave her. And she is also faced with the possibility of signing into legislation, a law that prevents animals from traveling without permits. Very, very Nazi Germany.
Yeah. But Bach, who already sounds like he's a chicken,
right,
is like, you're not going to sign that, are you? And she sort of throws a fit because I don't necessarily think she's wrong about it, though. she has to sign it kind of, because if she doesn't, because she's the sister of the Wicked Witch, everyone will assume that she is on her sister's side.
And it might put her sister in danger.
Well, no, it might put Nessa in danger of losing her position. I think Nessa Rose should fucking quit and go to the woods and do Fern Gully revolution with her sister.
Sure.
But like, because Nessa Rose doesn't want to lose her sweet position in life, she's sort of forced to sign this legislation in. And I don't necessarily disagree with that reasoning if that is the character's motivations. But I kind of hate that she makes that decision, but I understood it from like that standpoint.
Sure. In the book, if memory serves, and again, read it 20 years ago, in the book, she is kind of a cruel politician. And so she gets the nickname Wicked Witch of the East based on kind of her own actions.
She actually refers to herself as that at one point.
She does.
In this. Yeah.
Yeah. But what we see is that not only does she sign that legislation in for animals and makes it immediate, but she also signs it in for Munchkins, her own people, or rather the people she governs.
But specifically because Bach had just had the conversation with her about like, hey, I think it's time I went home. I've been a good friend after your dad died. I don't know how long Shiva lasts, but this is too long. So I have to leave.
Right. But also, it's because he saw that Glinda's getting married and he's going to shoot his shot, which like, buddy, no.
Oh, you say that, but then you're like gonna love in an hour when Elphaba does exactly the same thing.
I don't think it's the same thing because I think Glinda never gave Bach any indication that there was interest.
I mean, that's fair. I don't think it's gonna go great for Bach, but sometimes you do stupid shit because you're young and real dumb.
Yeah.
And I think he would have handled the no fine. I mean, I think it would have devastated him, but I don't think he would have like become a Tin Man or whatever.
See, here's the thing. I think some of the spells of like what people become reflect a lot of what's already there in the extremes, right? Because Glinda has given Bach the cold shoulder the whole time. For years, they have known each other for years. She has never given any indication that she is interested. He still wants to insist on going to try and break up her wedding, despite her not contacting him in all this time.
Maybe she didn't know he was an option, Paige. I'm not saying it's a smart move, Paige. It's the dumbest thing you could do. But if you're like a recent college graduate, you're like 22 or whatever, and you're thinking at a 22-year-old male capacity, like this is going to be like man, she just doesn't know I'm an option. I got to shoot my shot to let her know, hey, I'm available. But like, of course it's going to go bad.
It's going to, not only is it going to go bad, this is in saying that you don't think he'll react badly. I think he will, because he's the kind of guy that texts you, hey, 48 times, and you never respond. And then they say, fuck you, bitch. Like, these are the dudes that send me memes all day, every day that I have never once responded to, not even once.
Yeah.
And then are like, wow, she's kind of an awful, awful person for not responding. Like, that's who Bach is. I would say Glinda has given him every indication of no forever.
I agree.
And he hasn't taken those no's well either.
Yeah, no, I agree. We're agreeing. I just found it believable that he would do it.
Oh, I think it's definitely believable that he'll do it. I just don't think that he'll react kindly in any scenario. I think he's dumb enough to do it. But I do think that he'd be one of those like, well, fuck you, bitch. Fucking evil bitch.
I don't know. He is currently at the beginning of this movie at a friend's place hanging out with her because her dad died. He's not romantically interested in her. He's just like a friend, you know?
Yeah.
So like, that's what gave me the thing of like, I don't know. I think he might take it all right. But I do think he should keep his ass in Munchkin land. That's all I'm saying.
Here's what I will say. I do respect that he is forthcoming with Nessa about what he wants and why he wants to leave.
Yeah.
I don't hold that against him. I know Nessa does and hates it because she feels like he has kind of played along and led her on. And I will say that like, I think it's one of those horrible things where circumstances happen at a bad time and you feel like you can't upset somebody and can't leave. It's not great. And I do think she's very controlling and manipulative of their relationship, especially here where she legally makes it impossible for him to go.
Yeah.
Which is bad.
It's crazy.
But do I also still see some of that entitlement and frustrating. I'm trying to think of the word for that. I think entitlement might be the best word.
It probably is. I mean, if you're talking about from Bach's perspective.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy that he thinks he has a chance with Galinda based upon what she's said to his face. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I also think a 22-year-old idiot would do stupid shit like this.
Yeah.
Do you want passion? Do you want tension? I know you want action. Danielle L. Jensen's Saga of the Unfaded duology is complete. Duology, that's 2. Double the fantasy, double the fun. It's ready to be your next great fantasy romance binge. Saga of the Unfaded is a Norse-inspired fantasy romance duology, again that's 2, from the best-selling author of the Bridge Kingdom series. Book 1 is A Fate Inked in Blood. You'll fall in love with Freya. She's a shield maiden with a secret gift, and her forbidden love interest, Bjorn. You know we love Bjorn. She's blessed by the gods and battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king, while also fighting her growing desire for his fiery son. Remember when we talked about Bjorn? It's Bjorn. Then, experience the epic conclusion to their high-stakes saga in book number 2, A Curse Carved in Bone. That's like one of the hardest places to carve things. I mean, while the bones are still in your body. Like outside your body, I'm sure it's fine. A Curse Carved in Bone is about a shield maiden. That's Freya. That's our girl Freya. She's going to fight to break the shackles of prophecy in this searing conclusion to the Saga of the Unfaded fantasy romance duology. Because trilogies are for nerds, yo. It's captivating, it's sexy, or at least that's what Elise Kova said to USA Today, and she's the author of A Deal with the Elf King, so you know she knows what's up. A Fate Inked in Blood and A Curse Carved in Bone are available now everywhere books are sold. So wrap yourself in a cozy blanket, get yourself your hot drink of choice, and curl up with Saga of the Unfaded.
But so Nessa makes a law so he can't leave. And it's brutal and he's upset. And no one should ever do that. You should never be forced to stay in a relationship like that for any sort of reason. And also, both of those laws are horribly discriminatory. And I think, Nessa's doing her part to earn that Wicked Witch of the East branding.
Yeah, she essentially does a executive order that we can't break up, Bach. Sorry.
Yes.
That's essentially what it is.
Purely to stop you and I from breaking up, I'm going to mistreat my entire land.
Yeah.
It's brutal. It's brutal. So Elphaba shows up just in time to be like, you didn't sign that animal thing, did you? Yes, she did. And she trapped Bach there. But Elphaba also brings the Grimoire. And Nessa Rose is basically like, I am very depressed. I'm upset.
Yeah.
I wish things could go back to the way they were at school. I wish they could go back to that one night, which in us seeing it, we're seeing Nessa's version of that night because we've seen that night from everyone else's. And the fact that she is fixated on that one night in years is rough from just a mental health standpoint. But Elphaba is like, well, let me see if there's a way for me to kind of lift your spirits at least, and enchants the shoes.
Yeah.
Which are her mother's shoes, which allows Nessa Rose to float.
It's also the only time they're technically ruby.
Right. I did like that as well.
I like that a lot too. But yeah, so she's just floating in the air, with these red shoes on. I mean, honestly, a lot like Baron Harkonnen.
Sure.
And so that's when Bach comes in. And what transpires, but...
Well, before we get to that, we should talk about this is a very key difference between the play and the movie.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you remember, depending on how long it's been since you've seen the play. In the play, she enchants the shoes so that Nessa Rose can walk and no longer needs the chair.
It's definitely different in the movie.
Definitely different in the movie. So she floats, but that floating is temporary. Nessa Rose still uses a wheelchair for the rest of the film.
Well, it's really just the rest of this scene because
yes,
I don't spoiler alert, she gets a house thrown at her later.
Yes.
But they do very clearly show her land back in her chair and then wheel the chair around to talk to Bach. So yeah.
Right. Now, that was a deliberate choice.
I think so too.
When they did the movie.
Yeah.
There had been complaints about the play, completely valid, of essentially treating someone's difference in ability as something to be, air quotes, fixed.
Well, and in a movie that's saying that her green skin is not something to, quote, be fixed.
Right.
So I definitely even think it's so clear they should do it this way.
Yes.
If you're looking at the metaphor of the whole ass story anyway, you know? So it's crazy to me that it's not that way already.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a great change.
Yes, me too. I really appreciated it. But she lands back in the chair because Bach comes in and is like, oh, great. Well, now that you can float and have magic shoes, you don't need me. Elphaba's here to cheer you up. She can take care of you, and I surely can go after Glinda. And in her kind of rage, she tries to read from the grimoire, but because she can't, she accidentally casts a spell that essentially starts to kill Bach because it's grinching his heart.
It is like he does mention it starts shrinking. And I did think of the Grinch as well.
And Elphaba takes over and is like, you leave. I will try and fix this because you can't undo any spells from the grimoire, as we learned from the last movie with the monkeys. So she closes the door. And this is where Nessa gets that one like solo that's basically like, I'm just here all alone, the Wicked Witch of the East. Like, no one wants to stay with me. No one wants to help me. No one wants to anything. And then Elphaba comes out. She says Bach is sleeping. But this is where we realize that Bach has been turned into the Tin Man. Now, visually, first of all, character design, incredible.
Yeah, it's real well done.
But we've seen Bach carrying around like a pewter tea set or a silver tea set. And all the pieces of that tea set end up incorporated into his Tin Man.
Yeah.
So like the tray he's carrying is his shoulders. It's so cool. That's one of those ones where I'm like, man, I really hope you win costumes and makeup. And like, as much as I'm upset how much the awards have been snubbing Sinners, because I still think Sinners is one of the best movies of the decade.
Yeah.
And it's racism that they're being snubbed.
Yeah, I was going to say, I know why it's happening, but it sucks. It's not fair. It's not right.
Right. And as much as I want them to win as many things as possible, I do think character design in this is really fantastic. So I do hope that it gets recognized somehow.
Yeah.
Anyway, Elphaba leaves because she sees that Glinda is getting married. And she also has to I got to shoot my shot.
Yeah, absolutely.
With Glinda. Let's go.
And I think realistically, she's the only one with a real chance.
Oh, yeah. For both of them, technically.
Yeah.
I think she could have stolen either one. But she goes to the Emerald City. It's the night of the wedding.
Oh, wait. Before we jump there, I would really love to talk about how it's revealed he is the Tin Man now. Because Elphaba leaves, kind of rushes past her sister down the hallway, and the doors to the room they were just in where Bach still are closed. And Elphaba says, he's sleeping, give him a second, he'll be fine. And she's like, great. And so Elphaba's gone. She turns to the door and is like, Bach? And then you hear the axe on the door and he's coming through it like it's The Shining.
Oh yeah, fucking terrifying.
I was like, oh, that's terrifying for Nessa. I was like, that's hilarious though on some level. But we just see it's him, but he still has that axe in his hand the whole time.
Yeah, there's also, and we kind of missed this, but it's kind of in this whole section that Elphaba encounters a bunch of animals leaving Oz and gets to sing her song about essentially this is your home, fight for it.
Yeah.
We can restore it, we can keep it, we can take it. We can't let them turn our home into something that it's not, essentially.
Yeah.
Which is an incredibly sad and good song, but the animals mostly run away from her because the monkeys and the guard show up. But the monkeys witness her and how she's kind of talking to the animals of she comes clean of yes, I created the monkeys. If I could take it back, I would.
Yeah.
But I can't. So I have to live with that. But at least I'll be honest with you about I did that. But please. And this, I think, is where we start to get the monkeys kind of on her side or starting to kind of join her side, which is going to be important later.
Yeah, I think it's a few key things she does where they're like, no, she's cool. I'll fucking fight for her. But I think this is one of them.
This is one of them. We also kind of, because we were talking about in the last week on Wicked, there is also a section where we reveal that Elphaba's writing in the sky of like the Wizard of Oz, the Wizard lies or Oz lies, and Madame Morrible keeps changing it to Oz dies. So it's threats instead.
Yeah.
So it's this kind of like people have a perception of Elphaba that is not accurate to what she actually wants or believes. And so I think the monkeys are getting what she actually wants and believes. The animals are, and that's going to change their allegiance a little bit.
Yeah.
So Elphaba goes to interrupt the wedding. But of course she goes to see Glinda first. And Glinda's immediately happy to see her, but is like, let's go talk to the wizard. And Elphaba's like, how about no? Like, I do want to talk to him. I've got a score to settle, but like, I'm here to see you. It's your wedding day, you know, like.
Yeah. She's like, you're getting married to Fiyero? Like, what's up? Like, hey, I thought we had something.
Yeah, what's up?
But you're right. Glinda is like, hey, let's go talk to the wizard. And like Elphaba does. Like, they do this kind of, although it's not exactly the way Glinda would like it to happen.
Sure. And the wizard has basically this song and dance with Glinda that is basically like, hey, you could play along with us too.
Yeah.
Like,
we could bring you in.
We could bring you in.
Give you a whole new spin, you know, give your whole like propaganda story a spin where like now you're a hero and you're great and we love you and stuff. Yeah, I can be good to the animals again because I'll have you. I won't need to be mean to them or whatever his logic is.
Whatever bullshit. Yeah.
It's not reality. Like he's just like make 'em ups all the time. So you can't really trust him. So yeah, of course he's going to say whatever.
Yes. So Elphaba kind of initially agrees and is like, if you free the monkeys, sure. So he does let her free them. And she's like, all right, okay, maybe. And then he goes to get ready for the wedding. But Chistery, the head of the monkeys, flies down and is like, no. And basically directs her to a door where a bunch of other animals are essentially political prisoners, including Dr. Dillamond.
It's like a big circular painting that's just like leaning up against the wall. And he goes and hangs on the corner of it. And then as he starts to fly, he kicks it with his foot so it rolls and then reveals the door. I was like, yo, this monkey knows what's up. I love it. I thought it was great.
Oh, yeah. History's the best.
Yeah.
But so, of course, seeing all of those animals, the wizard is like, oh, yikes, about these. And she's like, no, now we're at fucking war.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to do shit that you say. I'm fucking out.
She essentially is like, because he does run down there and he's like, no, wait. I can explain all these animals I have in cages, even though I just made a big showing of us releasing the monkey flyers, right? So he's like the boyfriend who's like got caught cheating, running down to like, no, baby, let me explain.
Right. Those are my panties.
But like Elphaba's response to that is like, no, from here on out, it is on site. It is on site.
Yep.
And she literally says something like, I am going to like kill you or try until I die or something like that.
Right.
It is so badass. And then she's like, run.
Oh, so good.
Because she has been unlocking all of the cages as she's been saying this to him. And then all the animals start running out and like sort of trample him a little bit. He's fine.
Sure.
But also destroy the wedding that's going on right as they're about to get to the I do's. And I was like, man, I kind of wish they would make Love is Blind a musical because I bet we would get like such crazy, grandiose ways for weddings not to happen. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't just be like, is he or she going to leave him at the altar? Like it would be shit like this and I'd be here for it.
I mean, here's what I will say. Between this and Crazy Rich Asians, boy, does John M. Chu know how to make a movie wedding. Holy shit. Like it's so beautiful.
Yeah, I think the one in Crazy Rich Asians is like, it's more realistically beautiful, whereas this is like more outlandishly beautiful, which is the vibe, and it fits really well.
Right.
But yeah, they're both amazing.
Yes. The animals trample everything. The wedding is off at this point.
Yeah, when the giraffe runs through and like elbow checks the priest, the wedding's done.
Yes.
Like we'll come back to this later. Like, yeah.
Yes. But Elphaba has locked the wizard in essentially a cage. And as she's about to escape, who should show up but Fiyero, who essentially goes to puts his gun on the wizard and allows Elphaba to go. He's like, just go. And Glinda walks in on it and is like, hold on, what?
What's happening here?
What's happening here? And this is when Fiyero and Elphaba decide to leave together. And I do love the conversation she has with Fiyero that's like, thank goodness I thought that you had kind of turned to the wizard's side. And he's like, no, I was just trying to find you and make sure you were safe.
Yeah.
So let's bounce. And Glinda's upset with it, obviously. But Fiyero and Elphaba leave. They go have their As Long As You're Mine sequence with the sex cardigan. Love it.
Yeah.
Love a good sex cardigan.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it for sure. Did we talk about the wizard song that he sings with Elphaba and Galinda? Like it's the reprise of Wonderful? Or it's not the reprise, it's Wonderful.
Very briefly, yeah.
I love that song.
Yeah.
Because it really explains how propaganda works in like a very effective and fun way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, you're right. After all of this happens, I mean, Elphaba's Mr. Steal Your Man, so she does.
She does.
And Galinda's like very clearly more upset about like the reputational damage she'll be taking as opposed to like being romantically sad at all. But when they get to that Fern Gully house,
yeah,
it's on, clearly.
It's on.
Yeah.
It's on. She's going to show Anthony Bridgerton what's what. And I'd be happy to watch it. I'd watch it. I'll take more of it, please.
He's going to break him off a Greenpeace. You know what I'm saying?
Let's go. But meanwhile, while that's happening, back at the Emerald City, Glinda kind of betrays Elphaba in this moment because she's upset, understandably.
Yeah.
And basically says, if you want to get to her, use her sister. Like, go, say that her sister's in trouble or whatever. And I think she thinks that that's all they're going to do.
Yeah, she didn't say kill her sister. I want to be clear.
Right.
But that gives them the idea to kill her sister.
Right.
So it's not her fault. I don't think the death of her sister is on Galinda.
Sure.
I think the idea of that is on her, which is, I think, not nearly as bad. Like, she did not order the hit.
Of course.
But I also want to say about the sex scene, and I know we just passed it, but I do want to say...
No, let's go.
It was cool looking, I'll say that. But Elphaba floats them both to bed, and...
Tough to get traction when you're floating.
Well, they're not like... They're still fully clothed, but
yeah, sure.
It's moving in that direction. But I was like, oh, that's interesting. I guess she lifted him 20 feet off the ground to get consent because, the implication. I thought it was funny, but it's very clear Fiero's into it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But I did think it was funny that she like, hey, you can't say no, because if you do, I'll drop you.
Yeah.
But he is so in, so it's not creepy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I also love a refrain that we hear later in the movie as well. The idea where he's like, you're beautiful. And she's like, don't lie. And he's like, I'm not lying. I am just looking at things in a different way. And what I see is beautiful.
Yeah.
So I love when that comes back later.
Well, she says that once he's got burlap skin.
Yeah.
I did think it was tasteless at the end when she flipped this and was like, I'm not lying to you. I just think you're now ribbed for my pleasure.
For my pleasure. Yes. Todd, that's the last straw.
Oh, man, I want that. Yeah, that's great.
Because, hey.
Yep.
But this is where Madame Morrible creates the tornado that lifts Dorothy's house and drops it on Nessa Rose, killing her.
Yeah, she throws a house at her with a person and a dog inside it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we then cut to where the house has landed. And I do love that Glinda's like, yep, yeah, no, just follow the rope.
She literally says, goodbye, Dorothy, goodbye, Dodo, which is famously not that dog's name.
Yep. But who should show up but Elphaba and be like, how dare you give her my mother's shoes off my dead sister? Like, the fuck?
It is kind of nuts that she would do that.
Oh, yeah. And then they fight it out. And I do think that this is one of those scenes where, even though they're fighting because they know each other so well, this does seem more like a lover's quarrel.
Yeah. And I think the fight ends up the way a lover's quarrel that escalates to that level might.
Yeah.
But I did think it was funny when Elphaba realizes that the shoes were given away. She's like, wait a clock tick, you clunt. Like, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And that's when they start throwing hands. It was very funny.
Yes. But essentially, she woke up after glowing with Fiyero to be like, oh my God, my sister's dead with a house, and went there. So if Fiero's on his way, he's just not as fast as Elphaba because he don't have broom.
Yeah, he's riding a chatty horse or whatever.
Right. Actually, I think Glinda has his chatty horse because it's the horse she rides later.
That's right. Because he flew away with her.
But because Madame Morrible and the wizard have set this up, the guard is also waiting for Elphaba to get there.
Yeah, it was already a trap. So, yeah.
Yeah. So they arrive, Fiyero and the monkeys arrive, and essentially Fiyero, he aims a gun at Glinda so that Elphaba can get away. even though Glinda's like, he would never shoot me, this was to get her to go away.
Yeah.
But that means he essentially sacrifices himself for Elphaba, which is brutal.
Because there's no way they're not going to like torture him to death, for this.
Which is what they do. We watch it. I do think that's one of the things that the play doesn't have that the movie does have, because No Good Deed is the next song, which is an incredible song. But we're getting flashes of them essentially beating Fiyero to death as she's trying to quickly cast enough of a spell so he doesn't die.
Yeah, I mean, that's essentially what turns him. They literally throw him over like a scarecrow holder, and they're like beating him, and she turns him into a scarecrow, more or less.
Right. Brutal. So he is now the scarecrow, although the movie doesn't tip its hand to that just yet.
Well, that's because he dips into the Wizard of Oz story.
Yes.
And we aggressively, kind of as a bit, don't get that story.
Right.
It's only really when the Scarecrow leaves the Wizard of Oz story and then re-enters this story that we get Fiyero again.
Right.
But this is where Elphaba, because the night before, Fiyero gave her the idea of going to this, like, quote, safe house castle kind of a thing.
Right.
She goes to that.
The evil floating castle.
Yeah, she goes to that castle, which is really dope. And I think that's where she's singing the No Good Deed song, right? As they're setting up their digs.
That's where she sings No Good Deed, and we have the flashes.
Yeah. It's really well done. And the castle looks cool as shit, too, man.
The castle looks cool as shit. But at this point, we kind of dip over into the Wizard of Oz story just for a bit. And the angry mob that's like, we have to go kill Elphaba. We have to go kill her. It's the point at which Dorothy and the Tin Man and the Scarecrow and the Lion, because we kind of met the Cowardly Lion during that animal song, they receive the directive from the Wizard of Oz to basically bring me her broomstick.
Yeah.
Knowing that she will either kill them
or they'll kill her. Yeah. They're like, it's a win-win either way for him.
Right.
Did we connect the Cowardly Lion was the lion they saved in the first one?
Yeah.
And he blames Elphaba for making him a coward, kind of, because that's how that works. Anyway.
Yeah. That's the most roundabout one, although I didn't realize till literally the credits that the lion was voiced by Coleman Domingo, who's amazing in everything. And I was like, oh, more lion. We could have taken more. But anyway, this is also where we get Bach's terrifying turn as the Tin Man of like, I will fucking murder this. Like, I want to murder the witch because of what she did to me. He is actually scary as the Tin Man. It's pretty great.
It is pretty great, but I also kind of like, if you believed what he believes, can kind of understand, because he thinks she just straight up turned him into a Tin Man for no reason, like,
right.
Which would be a crazy thing, but he does not realize that she did that because it was that or death. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He doesn't know that, though.
Well, same thing with the lion. It's like, you were in a cage, you would have never learned to speak. It was that or death. Tin Man. And the only one that kind of understands it is Fiyero to a degree. I think because he has more understanding of what Elphaba can do.
I agree. Yeah, I think so 100%. There's no way the movie would end this way if he doesn't understand that, because they end up together.
Right. But so the crew makes their way towards where the Wicked Witch is. The monkeys that Elphaba sends pick up Dorothy. And I do love that we just get the shoes flying through the air. We do get Dorothy's point of view, but it's just fluttering shoes.
Yeah.
And she locks her in the castle to basically try and get the shoes off of her. But while that's happening, Glinda, I think, starts to realize that they killed her sister. Everything's a lie. And they have kind of maligned her friend. And so she rides out to Glinda's castle and basically is like, hey, you got to let Dorothy go.
Yeah.
Like, she's innocent. And Elphaba's like, no, I don't fucking have to. She has my mom's shoes. But hey, I also have to probably stage my own death. Or she doesn't tell Glinda that it's fake.
Right. She literally is saying, I have to let this happen because it's never going to stop. And this is where she's saying, because of the propaganda, kind of because of what you've become, I am limited.
Right.
And that's that song. It used to be, unlimited.
I'm unlimited.
Together we are unlimited, but because of the choices that you've made, and honestly, not necessarily only her, it's mainly the wizard.
Yeah, sure.
Elphaba is limited and she has no interest in that life. And honestly, even her family, who didn't really love her that much.
Right.
She she has no, like, they're all dead now. It's only her.
Right.
And the one person she would like to be with, she can't, you know?
There's some complications, and this has been a complaint about this movie of like, how did she and Fiyero connect? How did they know? How did whatever? And in the play, it's much more orchestrated between her and Fiyero, where she knows Fiero's the scarecrow and they plan it together. And that doesn't really happen on screen in this movie.
They do a really good job of like hiding that fact so that reveal at the end has like an impact.
Right.
But because I know how the story goes, I kind of knew it already, so it didn't bother me.
Right.
But if you had never seen anything about Wicked and were watching this, I bet that would be somewhat confusing.
Oh, 100%.
But if you've seen the story before, when Chisteri arrives and hands that note to her, and she says to Galinda, we'll never see his face again.
Yeah.
I think that is a nod to the people in the audience that know what's happened, that he's the scarecrow and they're already coordinating, and that Galinda needs to think that he's dead for the plan to work.
Right.
It's like a nod to us like, hey, yeah, we're doing it. It's coming up.
Right.
But if you haven't seen anything about Wicked, you might be a little lost, you know?
Right. But this is where we get For Good. They sang the title of the movie.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it is good.
But it's basically them saying, like, you have changed me permanently, and for better or worse, that makes you essentially the most important person in my life.
Yeah.
Because, again, they should probably kiss at the end of this.
This is like the main one. I was like, just kiss already, guys. Like,
right.
It's so sad. And it very much is like, our friendship has had its ups and its downs. Like, we have fought and, you know, we've come through it. And like, but I do think because I know you, I am better for having had this relationship. It's like such a sweet fucking song.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. I was like bawling the whole time.
Yes.
And then when she shuts her in the closet and we get the like, them like both leaning against the door in various ways, like just sobbing. Oh, it's so sad.
It's so sad, but she essentially puts her in the closet so that she can make it look like she dies. Because everyone has this theory that like water can melt her. So that's what they're going with.
I think it's hilarious that the whole time, I mean, they do set that up because of course it's a part of the Wizard of Oz, but like in the movie, everyone that's like seen as like educated and not dumb is like, man, I can't believe idiots believe that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's so funny between like the people who can see through the propaganda and the people who live the propaganda. It's so funny to me.
Yes. And like in the book, she is allergic to water, but not like deathly so. And so it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, she'll probably survive that, you know, or whatever, but it turns into water could melt her. But yes, it's the JFK Jr. is going to show up, you know, back from the dead on a helicopter or whatever.
Right?
Yeah. But it appears that she melts and dies, leaving only her hat and broomstick. Dorothy takes the broomstick. Glinda goes to pick up the hat. And Chisteri hands her a green bottle that Elphaba used to keep under her pillow. We saw that in the last movie. But it essentially reveals, at least to Glinda, and later to the wizard, that Elphaba is his daughter. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like in the play, it's more implied that the wizard knew that, and that's part of why he invited her to Emerald City to begin with.
I believe that's the case, although it has been probably 5 years since I've seen the play.
Yeah.
So I don't know fully, but I think that's the vibe. It's kind of he knew already.
Yeah.
Which is darker to me.
Same.
You can see his, oh my God, what have I done kind of turn from Jeff Goldblum. I think he does an amazing job. It's like the camera pulls back through the gears of his contraption that he's standing in front of, and it like shuts, and he's like, he's clearly impacted by it. And I do think that's one of the reasons Galinda is able to get him to leave without any force.
Right.
Because the monkeys do sort of serve Galinda at this point. They are like, hey, Elphaba loved you. We are going to like help you enact what Elphaba wanted enacted, which is honestly better for them. And that's the animals coming back and being seen as members of society and all that stuff.
Right.
So I get why they are like ideologically aligned with Galinda, but because she's the only one with any real power at this point, he has to leave. And I also think instead of ramping up some propaganda against Galinda the Good, he's so shocked by the fact that he just killed his illegitimate daughter.
Right.
He's like, I got to get back to Kansas and start selling used Model Ts or whatever he's going to do for the rest of his life.
Right. Yeah. And additionally, with the wizard suddenly departing, Glinda then basically puts Madame Morrible in prison because of everything that she did.
Yeah.
And she starts to free the animals. So we cut back to essentially the refrain from the beginning of no one mourns the wicked.
Yeah.
And she basically is like, we see all the stuff that she did before, right? So it is truly a reprise. But then she's also like, hey, I'm here, Glinda the Good, which means animals are coming back. I'm here for all Aussians, like everybody.
Yeah.
We're all coming back.
Yeah. You even see the animals that had left, like through that hole in the yellow brick road that they were escaping to Technicolor Arrakis.
Right.
Or whatever. Like they come back too.
Right.
Which I thought, man, good timing. Like how did the word get out that quick that, hey, Galinda's in charge? It was just announced 30 seconds ago and they are already back in Oz. I was like, God, that's amazing. I mean, clearly that is like a flash forward dropped into the montage.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate. I had no problem with it. It was just funny to me that like, while she's delivering the speech, they have returned.
Right. Yeah, she's in a different dress. I did think it was interesting that through the engagement and all this other stuff, she's in a lavender dress.
Yeah.
I was like, Now, okay, I'll talk about her a little bit in fun facts. That dress might have some other things going on, but we then cut back to Fiero's family castle because he shows up as the Scarecrow to let Elphaba out of the trapdoor and they escape basically Oz together to live in the world beyond. And then we cut back to Glinda, who now that she is finally resolved to do good or is maybe living as her authentic self, she can access and use the groomery.
I love that.
Or some people have interpreted it as a suggestion that Elphaba is still alive, and that's how Glinda finds out. I feel like you could read it one of two ways.
I mean, Elphaba very clearly is still alive because we do see Fiero come and get her out and then them walk into Technicolor Arrakis.
Right.
Which, like, great. Love it. Love that they're going to be together, getting and giving rug burns into eternity. Like, I love it.
Right.
But I would love it if they did a Wicked 3 where it's actually revealed because, like, Elphaba just got off the elevator and is walking into the room that she's in, and like that's why the grimoire opens. But there isn't another one, so that's not what it is. But I love this story so much, and I would love for there to be more, but there isn't.
Well, if you're fiending for an audiobook, there is a sequel about Fiero and Elphaba's kid. I kind of, as a book, preferred that one. I thought Son of a Witch was really good. So if you're curious, I do recommend Son of a Witch.
And that's the movie. So having seen the movie, having talked about the movie, what did you think about Wicked, for good?
I liked it. I feel like there are limitations to an adaptation that's based on such a well-known property, obviously.
Yeah.
But I love the new songs. I think the performances are all great. Visually, I do think it's stunning. I do think it drags a bit, but like I wasn't mad at it. I had a good time the whole time. And I did think it was interesting, some of the changes they made, but I will stand on, if they weren't cowards and gave us the lesbian love story that's clearly there, it might be kind of a better movie at that point.
I do think that they gave us as much of that as they could while still staying true to the source material.
Yes, yeah.
So I really do appreciate that they did that. And honestly, I think it would have gone badly had they deviated from the source material from a fan perspective.
Yes.
And I get why that might be a problem. It honestly would not have bothered me at all, but I get why they avoided that. But it's definitely on the screen, and I really appreciate that because it's like definitely represented at least. It's just not the choice that is made, but it's clearly an option, And that's kind of true to life, Sometimes there's two good options, and you've just got to choose one, and you choose the burlap, and that's okay. Maybe she's more into broad shoulders with burlap coverings. I don't know, but I really do love the movie. I really love the source material that this comes from, although I haven't read the book, so maybe source material is not the right word, but the original stage production to this, I think, is such a great, it's very true to that form, but it's just such a great enhancement because there's only so much you could do on a stage.
Right.
And so we get like full ass environments that they're living in, and everything feels, although it is in Oz and very grandiose and over outer worldly, it is still very real, if that makes sense. But I really hope we get a bunch more musicals done to this level. Like, I think we mentioned it last week, but I would love a Hamilton done, not in this like heightened Ozian way, but like the kind of budget they did to make this.
Sure.
Do Hamilton.
Yeah.
I think it would crush.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think, and we'll talk about box office on this one in a second, but this one crushed.
Oh, yeah.
And it's still in theaters. So like, there clearly are enough people in this country and around the world that will go to see musicals produced at this scale.
Yeah.
And please make more of them.
Well, and make them well. I think that's the key. Because, I've heard a lot of buzz of like, well, let's make a Glinda movie. And I'm like, I don't want a Glinda movie. I want high quality musicals. And I think we kind of have West Side Story a little bit to thank for this. And I know we haven't done it. We did the original. We haven't done the new one. They're very similar.
Yeah, it's the same IP. Yeah.
The new West Side Story is incredibly well done. And I say that as someone who the original is one of my favorite movies. I thought the new one did really well. But it's because they're like making sure the singing sounds good. They're casting people who can sing and act and do all of the like big budget of it. And I think we had a rash of musicals that were not done well that kind of soured people on it. So I think when they're seeing this as successful and they're like, oh, we should make a Glinda movie. And I'm like, no, you should make movie musicals and do them well. And you will rake in money just like people used to, right? Like musicals used to be guaranteed moneymakers back in the day. But instead we had people who decided to try and like make a musical without making a musical, right? Where they're like, what if we just have them sing live and it's not fun? Like, what?
Especially when they were like trying to make that a selling point of the movie.
Right.
And they were like, hey, we forced everyone to sing live while they were like shooting it. And it doesn't sound great, but come see the movie anyway. And I'm looking at you, Lamez. Like some people
100%.
do sound great because they are like Broadway level singers.
Right.
That is so rare, even amongst like actors, that you can't just cast anybody and be like, they'll do it fine on the day.
Yeah.
You know, had they not cast, can I just say it's Russell Crowe. I think it's Russell Crowe that kind of like takes me out of that movie a little bit. I still kind of love the performance though. This is an insane note about Lamez. I think it makes sense for his character. He's a beat cop, more or less, who like is a terrible villain, but thinks he's the hero. And I would buy that guy can't sing all great, but it does annoy my ears when I'm listening to it.
It ruins these beautiful songs. Yes.
Yeah. So like, I think he plays the character great. Don't love listening to his songs though. So I just fast forward him typically. But like, I'll say there are other people in that movie that I think do a great job.
Sure.
And it is cool that you captured that sound live. You know what's way more important? That we enjoy listening to it when we watch the movie, guys.
Yeah.
So please help the people who need the help in auto-tune or whatever, and let them perform it the way they need to perform it to capture a good performance of it on the day, you know?
Right.
Which for like Jeff Goldblum in this movie or Miss Marable, who are probably not the strongest singers based upon the auto-tune I could hear.
Sure.
Their songs are great because they're probably just lip syncing on the day. And they sang it in a studio when they auto-tuned it to where it sounds great. So like, let people just do that, guys. But I'll say this about Lamez. It was a $65 million budget and it made $435. So even that movie that I think got a lot of like negativity because of that still made money. We need more of these is all I'm saying. Like,
right.
And honestly, I'd be fine if they remade a lot of like, or updated some of the old 60s musical. Not Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. Natalie, I hear you in my head. You hate that.
No, that should be the first one. The first one we should do is Seven Brides for Seven Brothers.
No, Natalie would kill everybody. She hates that musical so much.
First that, then Harvey Girls. You hear me. I agree. Well, in this one, remember, because we talked about it a little bit last time, Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo do sing live.
Yes.
Because they're fucking incredible talents, once-in-a-lifetime talents,
yes.
Right?
Yeah. Like Josh Gad, you could probably let sing live.
Probably.
Dude's from Broadway, you know? Like, yeah, Jonathan Groff, let that guy sing live, you know? Like, fine, you can do it, clearly. But like, if you sing as good as me, and I'll say, I've sung on stage in front of thousands of people playing original music.
Sure.
Don't let me record live. Because I'm not that good.
Oh, no.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
It's a different level of talent.
I'll take all the auto-tune you're willing to give me to make me sound good.
Thank you, and more, please. Yes, 100%.
And I'll use Jonathan Bailey as an example. Jonathan Bailey can sing. He's incredible. He's not singing live. And it sounds great. His Fiero is great. Love it.
Yes.
But it's one of those things where it's like, the goal should be for it to sound the best, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that they balanced the live performances with the recorded ones, and it makes a huge difference. So yeah, more musicals that are made well.
Yeah.
Mamma Mia is the one that I think of. I also don't love the movie version of Les Mis. I dislike it very much.
The one with Liam Neeson? Fully disagree. Love that movie.
Oh no, the Liam Neeson one is actually great.
I know you meant the 2012 musical. Yeah.
I did mean the 2012 musical. But yeah, just more musicals. I'll take them. I'll watch them.
100%. Yeah. But Paige, do you have any fun facts for us?
I do.
Well, hit us with your fun facts.
Four
Wicked
good
fun facts.
So they did originally try to make this as one film.
Yeah.
But that would have made them have to cut things they wanted to include. And they also, and I do think this is a valid note, because I said this to my mom as we were leaving the theater, you can't cut it anywhere but after Defying Gravity, which is the act break in the show. That's where your intermission is in the show.
Yeah.
That song is such a fucking banger. You got to go out on it. Like, you have to. It's written to bring the curtain down. And so anything following that that wasn't a break just seemed anticlimactic, and it really hurt the flow of trying to do it all at once. So that is a huge reason why they split it. Now, as someone who's seen the stage play, I don't mind that they have split it. Now that I've seen both halves, I think they did both halves justice.
Yeah.
I think if I were to watch it again, I'd watch it with an intermission, basically, the way the show is.
Yeah, same, honestly. Yeah.
But like, I do think it makes sense. I questioned it originally where I was like, why 2 movies? But I get it. But what I do think it does is that for people unfamiliar with the play, part 1 is so happy and fun.
Yes, it is. Tonally, they're very different.
Totally, they're very different. And I think part 1 will have a lot more replay than part 2.
I agree.
Even though I do think they should be together. But
yeah.
Anyway, we covered this last time, but Fiero's horse is the same horse Jonathan Bailey rode as Anthony Bridgerton in season 2. It's like his horse friend. Now, that horse is color corrected to be blue.
He is, yeah.
In a couple scenes to refer to, that's the horse of a different color from the Emerald City.
Mm-hmm.
Fiero's eyes change color when he sings that he's seeing Elphaba through different eyes. Now, during the fight in Munchkinland, when Glinda and Elphaba fight, and Glinda makes fun of Elphaba's laugh, that's a nod to the original Wicked Witch laugh by Margaret Hamilton from The Wizard of Oz.
I mean, it is very that like iconic laugh from that movie. Yeah.
Yes. And also when they dump the water on her in the shadows, it's very much that iconic shadow.
Yeah.
I brought this up last time, but the monkey that steals Galinda's pink jacket is wearing it. When Madame Morrible is talking to the citizens of Oz and all the monkeys are kind of perched, one of them is wearing the pink jacket. Let's talk about the lavender dress. So because she was wearing it when they announced the engagement, I thought it might have been a nod to it being a lavender marriage, potentially. However, their, I guess, official explanation is that it's an homage to Billy Burke's pink Glinda gown from The Wizard of Oz, although we do get that pink gown at the end.
Right.
But also the blue dress worn by Glinda in the stage version of Wicked, which is actually a nod to the original Wizard of Oz book, where like there's 4 witches, north, south, east, west, and the one that actually comes to help Dorothy, I believe, is typically wearing blue. But part of the reason they did it pink in the movie is because Billy Burke had red hair, and so it actually looked better with her skin tone for it to be pink. That's also how the shoes end up red. It's like a whole thing. Technicolor, but it's still a magical movie and a treat for the eyes, but it does mean that things changed.
Yeah.
Elphaba and Glinda telling each other "I love you" was improvised by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. It's there. It's there. They knew it. We knew it. We all knew it.
I was sobbing. Like, it's such a sweet, so sad moment.
In early development of the stage musical back in 2003, Kristen Chenoweth, because she and Idina Menzel were early in the process as they were developing the songs.
Didn't John Travolta tell me it was Adele Dazeem?
Wickedly talented Adele Dazeem. Kristen Chenoweth repeatedly requested a song for Glinda in Act 2 because Glinda doesn't really have a song in Act 2. All of her songs are duets. And composer Stephen Schwartz never made one, in part because I think if you added more songs to the stage play, it's now like 3+ hours long.
Yeah.
But so when they did the movie, he did write The Girl in the Bubble to give Glinda a second act song, but also There's No Place Like Home, which gives Elphaba her second act song. And I do think both of those are great additions. I like both songs.
Yeah, I like both songs too. They're especially The Girl in the Bubble is like such a downer though, because it's Glinda kind of realizing that not only does she travel in a bubble, but like she's been living in a bubble and she has no real idea how bad things are, you know?
Yeah. In the play, Glinda is not typically in the reprise of Wonderful, but they add her here. And so they add lyrics and verses for her in the song, which I think really works well.
I liked her being there for it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Our Wizard Lies message written in the sky is a reference to the Wicked Witch skywriting Surrender Dorothy as a threatening message in the original Wizard of Oz film.
Yeah.
When Glinda stops in the doorway of her closet during Girl in the Bubble, which the cinematography in Girl in a Bubble, as she walks through so many circular doorways and circular windows and like so good, but you see all of the costumes from Popular in that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
It's not even that. It's also the mirrors. Like she'll walk up to a mirror and like stare at her reflection for a second. And then the reflection of her takes over and we follow the reflection of her through life. And it's such a great, like, she's coming out of the bubble and then she's like gonna be this different version of herself moving forward. And it's such a great visual representation of that.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is shot kind of like a oneer. At least that like transfer of like we're following one mirror and then the other one.
Yeah, it's not, but it's cheating that oneer really well.
Yeah. But it's a really cool effect the way it's done. I really love that. The song is kind of a downer. I wouldn't sing the song in my car, but I love that song because of how it fits into her character arc and the movie, really.
Yeah. The original song, No Place Like Home, which is Elphaba's second act song, is a direct nod to Dorothy's iconic line from The Wizard of Oz when she clicks the shoes together to hope to go back to Kansas. I'll end on this one that was basically a couple theories that I saw online that I think were really interesting. One, and I think I brought this up last time, that Wizard of Oz is from Dorothy's point of view and these movies are from everyone else's point of view. But because the other one that I thought was really interesting is because spells from the Grimoire can't be undone, that the basically shoes give you whatever you want. And what she enchanted the shoes with was something that gives you your heart's desire once you admit what that true desire is. So for Nessarose, it's floating, and for Dorothy, it's going home.
Yeah.
And it's basically the shoes that do it. And those are your fun facts.
Well, thank you for those fun facts, Paige. Let's talk a little bit about box office. So what do you think the production budget was for Wicked for Good?
I think this was expensive. What was the first one?
The original budget was $145 million.
Okay. Then I think this one is probably a little less. It's a little bit shorter. There are fewer built sets for this. And some of them are reused sets from the first one. Although I did point out to my mom as we were watching the movie that they planted all those flowers.
Crazy, right? Because those shots are beautiful. Yeah.
It's so crazy. I think this cost $112 million.
It was actually $150. It's a little bit more expensive than the first one.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised by that too because of the reasoning you laid out. But it was a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder if they're paying more for actors than they were in the first one. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot more extras in this than, well, maybe not because like.
Well, no, I mean like for the stars, to secure the stars for the second one.
Oh.
Although these kind of things are commonly done as one deal, right? Like the Lord of the Rings trilogy and all that stuff. So like, I don't know.
Well, and they shot them together too. So like the shots of like, No One Mourns the Wicked that we get in this are the same from the first. They were shooting them at the same time. But I almost wonder, because I was like, well, we have Shiz and there's a lot of people there. And then we have the Ozdas Ballroom. That's a lot of extras. But like this, we have multiple angry mob cities. We're in Emerald City a lot more, which is way more expensive and everything. So like
bigger than Shiz. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it's that.
Who knows? But that's what the budget was. Now the movie came out the weekend of November 21st. I mean, it's still in theaters now. It's only been out for a total of, let's see. This is its fourth weekend. We are recording this in its fourth weekend out. So what do you think it made in its opening weekend? And that was the weekend of November 23rd.
I bet this made probably at least 70 million opening weekend.
Yeah, it actually doubled that. It was $147 million in its opening weekend.
Damn.
So like not bad at all. That opening weekend, it was number 1. It beat Now You See Me, Now You Don't. The third movie was Predator Badlands. Number 4 was The Running Man, which I still need to see. Number 5 was Rental Family. But of course, Wicked for Good was number 1. Oh, Paige. Sisu, Road to Revenge is out already.
Yes, I haven't had a chance to watch it.
I didn't realize it was in theaters. Oh my God. That's a horror virgin movie that we saw at Panic Fest. It was actually just the original one. This is the sequel.
Yeah, we never did the original on Horror Virgin because it's more of an action movie, but...
It is. It's so good though.
Fucking love it though.
Yeah, I got to go see the second one. I didn't know it was out already. I apologize for bringing it up. Anyway, Paige. So in its first weekend, it was number 1. And as I said, it made $147 million. The next weekend, it was number 2 and then number 3 in its subsequent weekend. But again, it's only in its 4th weekend now. And that weekend started last night. So we're not even through that. But what do you think the movie has already made domestically in its first, I'll just say like 3.5 weeks?
Ooh, first 3.5 weeks, I'm going to say this has already made $120 million.
Yeah, it's already made $303.5 million just domestically.
Oh my God.
And another 145.3 internationally for a total of $448.9 million. Like, it's already made a ton of money. It's going to be in theaters for probably 2 to 6 more weeks. Like, it's going to make way more money than this.
Yeah.
I honestly am thrilled.
Yes.
I hope they make a ton more musicals to this level, but that's your box office.
Yay.
So, Paige, do you want to hit us with that romance scale?
Sure. Our romance scale is the scale of how romantic we found the movie today, with 1 being 1 and 4 being 4. Todd, how romantic do you find it?
If you're going for unrequited love, I'm going to give it a 2 because we don't really get any actual like romance, but we get 2 people who really love each other but like can't figure it out. And then we also get another couple that do figure it out, but there's not a ton of romance between them.
Yeah. I would say if it's Glinda and Elphaba, romance is at like a 2.5.
Yeah.
Everyone else is at a 1. And that's a romance scale.
100%. Yeah, thank you so much. So this week, Paige, you made us watch Wicked for Good. Next week, I'm going to do, I think, what is going to be hopefully a tradition on this movie, as when we are in a winter month like December, we do a Will Ferrell musical.
He's got to keep making them then.
Right, he does. He's only done 2 that I know of. But last year we had Natalie on and we did one of her favorite movies, Eurovision, which is a Will Ferrell musical. And so next week I think we should do the musical that he did with Ryan Reynolds. That's kind of a take on the Dickens classic. And also have Natalie on for that. And that is the movie Spirited.
Yes.
Where we literally get to watch Will Ferrell and Ryan Reynolds tap dance, Paige.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should have led with that. Yeah, I'm down. I'm excited. This is going to be great.
So that's your homework for next week. Check out Spirited. If you loved this, you're going to love it.
Oh, hey, Todd, do you have any reviews for us?
I do. This week, I'm going to read one of our most recent. In fact, I'll just do the most recent review that came in 2 hours ago from Dan. And it was on our Die Hard episode. They say, I've been waiting for my favorite podcast duo to do my favorite movie. Gotta say, I never thought it would fit into either pod ethoses. This is the bestest early Christmas present ever.
Great. You're welcome.
Obviously, it was on the Die Hard episode. So you are welcome, Dan. How could we not do it? It's got a man saving his wife, them finding love again, and it literally snows paper at the end of the movie. We get a white Christmas in LA. What more do you want out of a Christmas rom-com? Anyway, Dan, thank you so much for that Spotify comment. And if you want to have me read your Spotify comment or 5-star Apple review, leave us one of those things and I'll do just that. So yeah, if you guys like this show and want to hear our other show where we talk about horror movies, that is The Horror Virgin. That's the only other podcast I am on, but Paige is also on Cult Podcast, which you can find at Cult Podcast. And you can find us on social media. I am at Todd J. Awesome, literally everywhere. Paige is at Paige Wesley on Instagram.
No, it's at Rampage Wesley on Instagram and TikTok, at Paige Wesley on Twitter.
That's right. All right. So that's where you can find Paige. If you want to find the show, we are at Romancing the Pod Show, right?
Yep. Romancing Pod Show on Twitter.
Well, and Instagram, right?
And Instagram, but it's show SHO because character limits. If you start typing Romancing the Pod, it'll come up.
It'll definitely come up on Instagram. I don't know about Twitter because I haven't posted on Twitter in a hot ass minute. So who knows? But that is where you can find more of us. So yeah, guys, give us a follow. Support the show any way you can. We'd love it.
Smash that like button.
Hell yeah.
And that's going to be it for us, you guys. I'm Paige.
And I'm Todd.
And you complete us
to completion. Why couldn't we just get a kiss from both of them nerds?